Hey everybody, welcome back for another video. Today I'm going to be reviewing Cult of Chucky. This will be a spoiler-free review because I know it's not out yet and I don't want to ruin for anybody that hasn't seen it yet, obviously. I want you guys to be surprised just like I was genuinely surprised when I saw it. So first I'll start off with the positives, then I'll get on to the negatives. First and foremost, the Chucky, the actual doll, the special effects were a vast improvement over Curse of Chucky, which I didn't really like because, the CGI Chucky unfortunately just doesn't work. So this one they used animatronics and practical effects rather than use CGI. I think they probably learned their lesson from the last one, so that was I was pretty happy about that. Another thing I was very happy about in this one, there seemed to be a more. I liked it because you don't really see that in certain, like it's the 7th sequel in a franchise. There was a more cohesive continuity in the sense that they acknowledge parts 1 through 6 did in fact happen. There's no, like, oh, we're ignoring this sequel because we just effed it up so much. So they acknowledge all the sequels are in continuity, in canon. So definitely appreciated that, and I also appreciated it's very self-referential as well. They acknowledge, the various plot holes in like Bride, Seed, and Curse. The last 3. So they do acknowledge that. They kind of make fun of themselves. So you can tell they have a sense of humor about it. So I appreciated that. And another thing, if you guys have a keen eye and you just have a good memory, you remember. There's a lot of cool Easter eggs and subtle references, little throwbacks to mostly the original 3, the Child's Play ones. But yeah, there's a couple references to. I caught a couple from like Bride of Chucky and stuff, whether it's like a line of dialogue or just little subtle things like that. So that's always freaking awesome. And of course, a huge positive, Andy Barclay returns. You know what though? I put that as a positive and a negative, and I'll explain why that is in a little bit. Next up, they added a new plot element which I didn't see coming. It was a kind of a mindfuck at first. I'm watching the film, and I'm kind of just going like, what's going on here? Like, what, But yeah, it was very refreshing in the end when they do kind of explain. They don't dig too deep into it. They just kind of give like a throwaway line as like an explanation, which I'm hoping maybe they'll flesh it out in part 8, which there most likely will be a part 8. Let's face it. And but yeah, they don't kind of explain it too much. But it was a breath of fresh air, I felt, for the franchise. The kind of just doll going crazy stuff. It's the 7th sequel. They have to do something new, right? So it was definitely a new element that has not been in any of the previous Child's Plays, which I definitely loved. So, and there is, I don't want to say this, not really a spoiler, but there's a cool scene where Chucky and Andy have an interaction, and I felt like their dynamic really changed in this one. He went from being like that tortured kid, in parts 1, 2, and 3. Well, 3 it wasn't Alex Vincent, but you know what I mean. So yeah, he goes from being like that tortured kid to kind of, it really reminded me, honestly, the way they were, their banter, like back and forth, it reminded me of kind of like a Batman-Joker relationship between Andy and Chucky, because you really feel like there was one point where Andy, there was one point where Chucky, wanted to kill him, obviously, in the past films, and in this one, it's kind of like they need each other in a sense or something. That's kind of the relationship I got with them, so which was pretty cool. But yeah, I definitely appreciated that dynamic in this film. And I'm not going to spoil anything for you guys, but I have not been blown away by an end credit scene in a long time. And I'm not talking about, you know, this post-credit scene in this film was not... I'm not talking about, it's not like a Marvel, you know, Avengers, like, oh, let's go get some shawarma, you know, like some dumb joke like that. They were serious. Like, you guys thought the Curse of Chucky post-credit scene with Andy, you know, coming back was freaking amazing. This one just blew me away. It was a reunion in the Child's Play series that I've always wanted to see, but I never thought they would actually go through with it. So... yeah, that was definitely a freaking highlight for me. And now I'm going to start with the negatives for you guys. Like I said, Andy Barclay, you know, they brought him back obviously for this film, but honestly, I felt like it was, his presence in this film was more for fan service than anything else, if I'm being completely honest with you guys, because honestly, I felt you could take away all his scenes in this film and he would literally have, the plot wouldn't have an effect at all on the plot. I felt the outcome, you know, the climax of the film would have ended up exactly the same way anyway. So yeah, I felt he was just kind of thrown in there. He doesn't really, you know, and this is not really a spoiler because, you know, I'm not saying what he does or anything, but yeah, he doesn't really have a lot to do in the film. The few scenes that he does have are cool, I'll admit, you know, but yeah, he was just kind of there, you know. After a while, you kind of forget he's in the movie until they bring him back, you know. But yeah, those few scenes that he's not, you're like, where's Andy, you know? Even to a certain extent, Jennifer Tilly, I love Jennifer Tilly, but she honestly, in this one, her presence felt more like a glorified cameo as well, if I'm being honest. And then I found out later, I read up that she only did like 6 days of shooting, so that kind of sums it up. I'm like, you can't really get that much footage in 6 days, so it makes sense why her screen presence isn't, you know, around that much. And let's see here. But yeah, I mean, I wanted her to have more to do, you know. I wanted Jennifer Tilly to be in the movie, and she kind of just was in and out, you know, in a few scenes here, a few scenes there, but nothing really, she didn't really add anything to the story, in other words. I felt she was kind of wasted in a way in this film, which sucks because I wanted to see more Tiffany, you know. And the ending of the film felt a little bit abrupt, just out of nowhere. Like they're, you know, the build up is so good, and you're like, oh crap, what's gonna happen? And you know, like you think these characters are in extreme, you know, danger, and you're like. I'm thinking like they're all gonna die or something, you know. But yeah, the ending just kind of, I don't know. It was very anticlimactic in a way. I felt like they purposely did that though, obviously to, you know, to set it up for another sequel. But yeah, I would have wanted a little bit more closure. I mean, otherwise the film itself, it's great though. I loved it. It was a great ride. You know, I just have those little gripes of Andy Barclay. I felt he was a little misused, and as well as Jennifer Tilly, and that's pretty much all I can say. Yeah, those were my positives, my negatives. Overall, like I said, I enjoyed this film. I felt, for, you know, being the 7th film in a franchise, it was very refreshing. It was good. It added a fresh new take. You know, like I said, elements that weren't in any of the previous films, which I felt it needed, obviously. And yeah, so I enjoyed it very much. Hope I didn't spoil anything for you guys. I might have accidentally spilled something, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, hope you guys enjoy it when it does come out. And yeah, that's going to do it for this video. I'll see you guys next time.